Welcome to the 42nd annual Lubbock ISD Band Extravaganza here at Lowry Field. James Eppler alongside Matt Ernst from KCBD News Channel 11. Happy to have you along this evening. And Matt, we're about to see some good performances tonight.
Indeed. And the cool thing about this, you mentioned 42 years of doing this. This has been a large turnout for years and years across those more than 4 decades. I don't think we've been doing it 42 years, but it's been several years in a row that we've been able to do it. The cool thing is, over that time since 1983, more than 50,000 students have participated. This year alone, we'll have more than 1,300 musicians. You're probably wondering, how could there be that many across 4 of the high schools? We add in the middle schools, the feeder schools as well.
It's a great experience for them to be able to be inspired by the next kids above them. And then the evening ends with the best in the land, the Goin band from Raiderland and Dr. Joel Pagan. With them, Matt, you've played in the Goin band, so you've been through this contest process. The kids are getting to practice their UIL competition pieces this evening because the actual competition is going to be October 18th here at Lowry Field. So this is kind of a last warm-up and a run in front of an audience that's excited to see them.
Yeah, depending who you ask what happens on a Thursday or Friday night. Sometimes you say, okay, the band performs between, the featured attraction. I, as someone who played in band, would say featured attraction is right there at halftime. The cool thing about tonight and also contest, like you mentioned, October 18th, well, the band is the focus. And these bands have been busy since back before school even started, getting ready for that UIL competition that happens here at Lowry Field on October 18th. There's a lot that goes into learning your show, learning the music, and really for some it's learning to march. For the freshmen who make up these bands, at most schools I've never even experienced being in the stands. That's different here, though, at Lubbock ISD because of Band Extravaganza. We get to welcome the middle schoolers in tonight to get kind of that camaraderie with the high schoolers.
I can tell you my son is coming to the Band Extravaganza for the first time tonight. He is in middle school and excited to play in the Band Extravaganza next year, so he's here to cheer his team on this evening. The way the program works, we will have the feeder schools for each of the high schools playing throughout the evening, kind of staggered out, giving the high school bands time to make it onto the field. And they will be timed, Matt, because we have some judges who will be watching and making sure that they're being put through their paces.
Yeah, that's part of getting ready for contest. Each band director has a clinician here giving those remarks so that they are prepared here in a few weeks. Also, I want to point out there will not be any bias when James has his son here participating in one of the bands. We'll be fair to all of the bands here across Lubbock ISD.
No, it is just kind of that. This is what it's about. It is about families and friends coming together to support the arts, and Lubbock ISD does a great job of nurturing these students and giving them that experience. We are excited to have you along. We are going to have a great evening together.
For the colors presented by the Lubbock High School Junior ROTC and the playing of our national anthem by the Lubbock Christian University Symphonic Band. You may be seated.
Lubbock Christian University, directed by Dr. Lisa Tatum. And the colors, James, from the Lubbock High Navy Junior ROTC.
Great performance, great way to start our evening. Up next, we
Thank
are
you
going to
to
have
the
a
Lubbock
performance
High
from
School
the
Navy
Monterey
Junior
High School
ROTC
Theater
led by Mr.
School,
Ricky
featuring
Smith.
Atkins
And
Middle
the
School
Lubbock Christian
and Evans
University
Middle
Symphonic
School.
Band,
Their
directed by
performance
Dr. Lisa
is
Tatum.
called Thriller. They will be performing from the stands here in just a few minutes with the Monterey drum line.
One of the key highlights of band
director for
Extravaganza is the
Atkins
growth shown by
is
each of our high school
Natalie
bands.
Zet.
While their
And
shows
the
are still in
director for
development,
Evans
tonight's
Middle
event
School
follows
is
the UIL
Mark
marching
Franklin.
contest
It's the
format.
first theater
Each
performance of
band
the
is given
evening,
5
while the
minutes for an
Estacado
on-field warm-up,
band is
8
getting ready
minutes
take
to
the field
perform,
for
and
that.
2 minutes to exit.
Yeah, and so we're going to be jumping around kind of between different parts of the stands here, and this is a lot of students to bring together to coordinate all this. A big thanks to each of the band directors from each of these middle schools, the schools that feed into each of the high schools, and also the chance for those high schoolers that make up the drum lines to get to play with the each of the bands. And you can see we're going to see a lot of students walking in and out. They'll be getting started here in just a little bit. The cool thing here is, like we mentioned in the open a little while ago, about 1,300 band members will be here. And so looking just at the Monterey feeders, that is Atkins and Evans Middle Schools, and they will be playing Thriller here shortly, accompanied by the Monterey High School drumline.
The principal at Atkins, by the way, Ryan Rodriguez. The principal at Evans is Aaron Mitchell. And the Estacado band is off to the side getting ready to go onto the field. But down in the stands, you have all of the middle school performers. They're ready to perform. And right across the field, now you can't see them, but you got the parents and fans. Let's go to the stands.
So our show is called Rhapsody. It's a play on words, you know, Rhapsody that you see in classical music, R-H-A-P-S-O-D-Y. So it's a rap city, R-A-P-city. Kind of a meld of classical and popular music. The first opening is by Gangsta's Paradise from Coolio from the movie Dangerous Minds. We've got a ballad in there from Post Malone. We also have Rhapsody on the theme of Paganini, and then we finish up with urban dances from Eric Morales. It's a different show than what they've ever done before. They haven't really done props. We've had a huge increase in students, so we're actually able to have a full drum line, front ensemble, and those kind of things. And they've never used props before, so I've always been into more of like a thematic kind of marching show that we've done that in my previous position at Raw. So he's just wanting to bring something different. For me, it's exciting because, the last time I did band Extravaganza, I was out there on the field. So I got a chance to, see the tech band when they came out and just all of the excitement that came with it, watching the other high schools. So the way that they've bought into it, just to see their excitement to perform this in front of the other high schools, that's the big thing I'm looking forward to.
You heard there from the director of our next performance, actually our first high school performance this evening, is from Estacado director Kenneth Walker. In his first year at Estacado, comes to Estacado from Rawls, and as you heard in that video introduction there, trying some new things with Estacado this year, specifically the use of props, which is something we haven't seen from the Matadors before, and it sounds like they put together a fun presentation. Rap City, Matt.
Rap City.
Yes, Rap City, not
I like
Rap
how that's
City.
I like how that's put together. And like Mr. Walker talked about the size of the band, he's been able to, and of course the folks before him have been able to grow the Estacado band, so the opportunity to do things like putting props on the field because of the sheer number of students they now have representing the E playing in the Matador band.
So some of the selections you're going to hear, and he mentioned them, Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio from the 1996 film Dangerous Minds, which, Matt, you're maybe even a little young for that one, but I remember that one, so, and a lot of the parents in the stands are probably into that idea too. Also, songs also from Post Malone and Eric Morales, so cool way to introduce students into cool music to really get them excited about a performance like this.
I don't know about, I know it was a lauded film. I don't know about awards, but I do know that Gangsta's Paradise was nominated for a Grammy in '96, I believe, was the Grammy album.
I think that's right, and an Oscar nomination.
Okay, I thought it had an Oscar nomination.
Yep. So as you can see, the Estacado Band is on the field. Time is running, so part of the competition is having to get ready. Let's go down to the field and listen.
Where else are you going to hear Coolio, Rachmaninoff, and Post Malone all together, the Estacado Marching Band? And do you want to point out, like you mentioned earlier, the drum majors here, Lourdes Castillo and Candido Herrera?
Here in just a few minutes, we will hear from our largest group of feeder schools from the evening. For Coronado, they will be performing when we return from a break.
Yep. And remember, these students, they have to follow the clock. They're on the clock now to clear the field. Estacado getting off the field. They have 2 minutes to do so, getting ready for UIL contest. We'll be right back. You're watching the 42nd annual Lubbock ISD Band Extravaganza on My Lubbock TV.
So our show is called Mad Man, and it's just popular songs about madness. We've got some music by Frank Zappa, by Queen, by Pink Floyd, a little bit of Beethoven in there, and then Tears for Fears at the end. Started writing the show in January. I write the wind parts, and then we have another person who comes in and writes all the percussion parts, so it's kind of my baby.
Ready!
This event's great. My students love coming and like being with all of the other bands and seeing how they're progressing, doing the big whole thing together. That's just it's really a time of camaraderie for them. And then when the middle schoolers get here, it just takes it up to a whole new level because we're all trying to get them like come to Lubbock High, come join us on the field.
You heard there from the director of the Lubbock High School band, Dallas Bayless. Now, this is a group that just went to state this last year in San Antonio, so they have a great program. As he mentioned, Mr. Bayless has been planning this since January, so we are in for a great performance when Lubbock High takes the field here in just minutes. Before that, though, we want to recognize who you heard from just a few minutes ago, the feeder schools for the Coronado High School band.
Yeah, that feeder pattern, including McCool Academy, as well as Irons Middle School, Mackenzie Middle School as well. And as we mentioned, getting ready for contest here, they have 5 minutes to get onto the field. So here in the stadium, they start the clock. This is just like what they're going to face here October 18th when UIL contest competition happens here. I can tell you the competition is so tight. To be able to make it to state, that is a challenge. And as you advance through each round, only a few bands are able to make it through. So this is quite the accomplishment that Lubbock High was able to make it to state last year. And band director Dallas Bayless has been at Lubbock High School for 4 years.
So you're seeing the Westerners make their way to get ready to go onto the field. So these teams have to perform a set that is no less than 5 minutes, but no longer than 8 minutes. So they are on the clock right now, and we do have judges who have been hand-selected by each of the 4 high school directors this evening, and we have one from Lubbock, one from Sundown, one from Cedar Park, one from Houston, and they will be giving feedback to these directors and grading them the way that they do in the UIL competition, score of 1 to 5, 1 being the best, 5 being still in development, we'll say. And so they're going to get some valuable feedback this evening, Matt, but Lubbock High making their way onto the field right now with a performance they are calling Mad Man.
There's a comment there, Mad Man. And like we mentioned earlier, when your son advances to play in the band here next year, you will not show bias. I will not show bias either here, even if my wife graduated from Lubbock High School. Someone mentioned a lot of great people graduated from Lubbock High School. I always enjoy when Abner Uresti says that on the air. He a proud Westerner as well. Ruben Villarreal on our team as well. We have a lot of Lubbock ISD makeup in our newsroom. So we won't show the bias from your end or my end here, but Lubbock High School band getting ready. And you realize you've seen the props that are being placed there, but you just saw those band members running away. It's not like they bring someone else, hire someone else to get the props out there. That is the band. If you are going to stage props as part of your show, the band members, like you see right there, that is heavy material that they are carrying out there and positioning. That is part of the clock. You don't get extra time to say, okay, we're going to put props, give us a few more minutes. Whatever you choose to design into the show, the band has to get out there and also has to clear it at the same time. You can see the name of the show on some of the banners on the front of the sideline that you see here on the 35, Mad Man.
We love Mad Men, but this is Mad Man, and a pretty eclectic selection of numbers for this performance. There's Frank Zappa in here. There is Queen, which we already heard Queen from the We Will Rock You performed by the Coronado Feeder Schools, and a little bit of a spoiler alert, you're going to hear some more at the end of the evening from the Goin band from Raiderland. Also Brain Damage by Pink Floyd and Mad World by Tears for Fears. So a pretty strong collection of numbers that they've put together for this performance.
Lubbock High School's drum majors, J.C. Neal, Paige Whitfill, and Sage Thompson. You can see the attention from each of these band members looking straight ahead. Just over a minute left here on the clock. as far as how much more time the band has to prepare and to get ready. You can see how they're all clumped together. I think Coach Joey McGuire would be excited with this shot right here. He said, I want more tubas, and you can see the sheer number of tubas making up the Westerner band right here.
Matt, you need more tuba.
Got a fever.
Makes the band sound full. Well, you hear the audience applauding. Let's go down to the field here and listen to the Lubbock High Westerner Band, their performance called Mad Men.
Drum majors J.C. Neal, Paige Whitfield, and Sage Thompson. You may begin your performance for the 2025 Band Extravaganza. The directors of the Lubbock High School Westerner Band are Dallas Bayless, Tress Perkins, and Joe.
That was the Lubbock High School Westerner Band under the direction of Dallas Bayless, Trey Perkins, and Joe Galvan. The performance, Mad Man, and have to say that wasn't bad, man. To put it mildly.
That was, I really enjoyed that. And when you have a tuba solo, I mean, and I'm not talking about a solo like you drop from a B flat all the way down to the low F, so low, but a solo, young man playing right there, that was
I
fantastic.
thought you weren't going to be biased, tuba player.
I'm sorry, I'm going to call them out. How I see them, balls and strikes, and that was excellent.
Well, here in just a couple of minutes, we will hear from our next group of feeders. This will be the Monterey High School the Estacado High School feeders. Dunbar College Prep will be performing here in just minutes.
Yep, we'll be right back. The 42nd Annual Lubbock ISD Band Extravaganza on My Lubbock TV.
performance for Band Extravaganza tonight is our UIL contest show this year. It's called Outside the Box. Music was written and arranged by Evan Van Doren. And our show, it really is a way for us to express a different way of thinking, a different way of approaching things, to get outside the box. We begin with a jazz fusion chart called First Circle, written by Pat Metheny. So it's very high energy, up-tempo. The kids are exploring their space, they're exploring their instruments, they're exploring their sounds as we do this, as we kind of express that we're conceptualizing what we're doing. The second part of our show is called The Hymn of Axiom. It's actually a vocal piece written by Vienna Tang. It was popularized by a drum corps a few years ago. It's going to express the emotion of as they grow. It starts soft and it builds and builds and builds to a big moment where they get to really feel what it feels like to fill themselves with this new thought process. And then we go into a trombone feature with percussion called Sogno di Volare that goes straight into a Frank Ticheli concert band piece called Nitro. That's just an up-tempo, high energy celebration of everything that they're doing, big sounds, eventually big moves. We don't have those big moves in yet, but eventually we'll have those in there to really finish strong and to get fully outside the box and embrace the performance.
That was Dr. Cody Hutchison, the director of, that was Director Rodney Gurley, the director of Monterey High School, the swinging beat from 50th Street. Before we get to Monterey, we want to highlight the Estacado Middle School feeder, Dunbar College Prep, who you heard just before that video played. Chicago's 25 or 6-4, not 25 or 6-7, kids. I know all about that. That's a different thing.
You know the new trends, and some songs are just everlasting. I remember the year I played in the Goin band, my freshman year, we played 25 or 6-4, and you think, well, that song was back, before I was born. We have to come to the realization, the students who played the Grammy Award-winning Gangsta's Paradise, that was long before these kids were born. Some songs are just great and are everlasting.
And some just seem to work well with marching bands. They're kind of staples, right?
Yeah, something like that, upbeat, like 25 or 6-4. And, when you come together, this happens like early this year, not this school year, this calendar year, when the band directors start plotting out what their show will look like. You may have something that's easily recognizable, like 25 or 6-4, something like that, or other great pieces of music that are lesser known. That's a lot of the work that the band directors, you can see walking right there in our shot, they start months and months before the students get to see what the show will look like. A lot of work to what kind of music will work well for marching. There are things that will work for marching. There are things that work well for concert season. But not just having good music, but also putting a show together and having the students march to make it all happen. There's a lot that goes into this.
A lot of planning. You can see the Monterey High School band spread out between the 30s there on the field, about the 25-yard line, taking up a good portion of the field, ready to perform. Here is the swinging beat from 50th Street. Their performance is all about emotions, and it's called Outside the Box.
And we mentioned that they have 5 minutes to get on and get prepared, get set. You'll hear the announcer tonight at Lowry Field. Dr. Mike Gustafson is actually serving as announcer. They will ask drum majors, is your band ready? That's all part of the process here. I also just received in our ear word that we do need to recognize an outstanding alumnus of Monterey High School. Our boss, I think, said, Mr. McAllister. No, I'm joking. He did not tell us that, but he is. We have a huge makeup of Lubbock ISD schools across our station, so I'm just joking. Greg did not tell us that we have to say that. I think if we say that, we have to say his wife and alumnus of Coronado, but...
You know what? My dad went to Monterey.
There you go. There you go.
It's a good school.
Makeup
good
of
stock.
All of them, but the beat from 50th Street... just the look of their trailer, which is just south of the in the parking lot out here, just looks cool. The bright blue that makes up Monterey's colors, and the swinging beat from 50th Street, just always a cool slogan for what that band stands for. And you can see clock is down about a minute and a half, minute 45 left. The clinicians that are hired here tonight to grade these bands, they're looking at all those things. You can have a great performance. You go over on time, you get penalized for that. So that's why getting onto the field, performing, and then clearing the field. They have to do it in each of those allotted time frames.
And we heard from Mr. Gurley during that video that he really wanted these students to connect with the music, and he very much strategized this to build to kind of an emotional crescendo as a way to really make these students understand that both, whether it is their musical knowledge or working with their instruments, to learn to think outside the box. And that's really the thesis of this performance. So as you're watching this, see if you can spot the moment that he's talking about where this performance really builds towards something to really communicate that emotional core of this performance.
I mentioned the band directors, but also the drum majors. They have a great responsibility leading into this year before the music is even handed out in the summertime. For Monterey, the drum majors are Bella Palomo, Eli Ponce, Jaden Smith, Jazakaya Young, making up the band here for Monterey High School. Looks like they are just about ready to go. We're excited to see the performance here. Clock, and just now, Gus just gave them the question. Drum majors, is your band ready? Always enjoy hearing that. As a marcher out there, you know it's about to happen.
That's
once you
when
hear
the
it.
blood goes
Yeah,
up.
you are ready to go. You also better still be at attention. Can't move at that point. Everyone at attention as the clock counts down. We're about ready to go here with the swing and beat from 50th Street, the Monterey Band.
The Monterey High School Band, under the direction of Rodney Gurley, called Outside the Box. Also, Dave McCoon and Antonio Aguilar, assistant directors out there as well for the Monterey High School Band.
A new feature at Lowry Field. Hopefully we'll see it again later tonight. They have new LED lights installed here that can do all the wild flashes. Just stop for a few seconds here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was happening when we saw
You were
it
not
going
getting
on. I
too
was a little
tired. Yeah,
distracted.
yeah. Everything's still, the brain is still functioning all correctly and not blinking too hard here.
So we still have more performances on the way. Another middle school performance from Cavazos and Hutchinson. We still have Coronado to hear from. And then you want to stick around for the Goin band from Raiderland and the grand finale where all of the high school and middle schoolers will perform together at the end of the evening.
You're watching the Lubbock ISD Band Extravaganza on My Lubbock TV.
The final combined middle school performance features the bands of the Lubbock High School feeder pattern. The principal at Cavazos Middle School is Vanessa Barbosa Silvas, and the band director is Tyler Worsham. The principal at Hutchinson Middle School is Michael Stewart, and the band director is Andrea Martinez. They are performing Salt and Pepper's Push It, arranged by Mike Story and accompanied by the Lubbock High School drum line.
The name of our show is Above the Horizon. Basically, it's based in the clouds. You're going to hear a lot of airplane takeoffs and flyby sounds. So everything's basically just talking about being up in the air. You're going to hear quotes from Danger Zone, from Top Gun in there. Pink Floyd's Great Gig in the Sky is in there, with some soloists through there. So it's all about being in the clouds. We started coming up with a concept in November of last year. And then December kind of settled on some things, settled on some music, and then it's just been a progression all the way through. We started with our leadership in July, and then the last week of July we started with the band working on music and drill in August. We've got about 2 weeks before our first contest, and we have 4 weeks until the actual first regional contest. And then our area contest is 2 weeks after that. This event is really important for that. It's actually kind of a contest environment. They run the clock the same as we do at UIL. The parents are here to see just them, to support them. They get to play in a packed house like they will for contests. So to recreate kind of that atmosphere to where there's that need for the attention, that need for the feedback, this event is really important.
The Coronado High School Mustangs Above the Horizon is the name of the show. You heard there from Josh Shaw, the director, who has been with CHS for 22 years.
Wow.
And Matt, as someone who's been in marching band, what does it mean for a program to have that kind of consistency in leadership?
Man, that's just remarkable, certainly in pretty much any career, but knowing that when you're going to march in high school with 4 years of opportunity as a freshman, probably come in wondering, okay, what does this even look like? And you learn a lot through that first year. And by the time, of course, you add more experience as a sophomore, junior, by the time you reach it as a senior, just feels like something that's pretty much been a part of your high school career, because it has. It takes so much time. But knowing that Mr. Shaw has been there for so long, that really says a lot, makes a big difference.
He has probably touched a lot of lives in his time and turned a lot of lights on, as all the great educators do. Now, you heard him speak in that video about his vision for this performance, and you're seeing that on the field right now. Above the horizon, that feeling of flying, and you see all of the representation of the sky there at the bottom of your screen and then across the top there as well.
Yeah, I see a little bit more fair weather cumulus actually on the east side, the far side of your screen, but we have a little bit more cumulonimbus on the sideline closer to your screen here. That's showing possible storm development, I suppose.
We
Got to
really count
geek
on
out
you.
with the clouds. Yeah.
We need that weather nerd analysis. I'm so glad we have you for that.
We've had some windy, sometimes chilly nights here. Weather is great this year. You know, sometimes this time of year there are a lot of changes in the weather. We've had the wind kind of blow in. I think that was just a couple of years ago during band Extravaganza. We were able to see over the far right horizon, southern horizon, a little bit of flashing over the last 30 minutes. Just saw a flash just now. The storms are south of I-20, so they are far away, but it's from this vantage point we can see so far. But I like the design with the clouds here from Coronado.
Looks great. Above the Horizon musical selections include Pressure from Project Car 2 by Stephen Baysted, Ominous with Building Intensity from Symphony No. 3 by Archer, Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd, and Asphalt Cocktail by John Mackey. Josh Shaw is the director, and this presentation has been put together by him and also from the group here. Music arranged by Evan Van Doren, show designed by Josh Shaw. We'll mention the drum majors are Gabriella Dick, Bailey Dorman, Jaden Meadows, Hadassah Vasquez.
And that is a tall structure right at the 50-yard line on the bottom middle of your screen. Not the structure where the drum major is standing. That is also a large structure, but the soloists that you see on kind of a cube, almost like Escher design, it looks like here, those students have climbed up quite high, and it's a lot of pressure to deliver on a football field a solo. That's what you will see right there from several of the band members making up that part of the performance. We're watching the clock about a minute. Look at that, giving the encouragement, fist bump right there. They are ready to go. About a minute and a half left on the clock for the band to be out here. And again, they have to get ready, get attention, all within the time allotted.
It's good that they have that encouragement because, of course, they've been practicing this for weeks. But when you get on the field and the lights are bright and the stadium or the seats are packed, that adrenaline really hits, and it changes things.
It does. A lot of pressure here, but that's why they're getting ready. Contest here on October 18th, so they are still putting some of the finishing touches on their show. Sounds like we're about ready to go.
Absolutely. Again, this performance is called Above the Horizon, Coronado High School Mustangs. Let's go down to the field.
The final band in Conference 5A is the Coronado High School Mustang Band. Their program is titled Above the Horizon. The music is arranged by Evan Van Doren, and the show design was created by John Cross and Kathy Appleton. Drum makers Gabriela Dick, Bailey Gorman, Jake Meadows, Hanasa Vasquez. You may begin your performance for the 2025 Band Extravaganza.
The Mighty Mustang Marching Band from Coronado. Great performance there called Above the Horizon. That was fun under the direction of Josh Shaw, Tony Garcia, and Adam Bodine.
Next up, the Goin Band from Raiderland on the 42nd Annual Lubbock ISD Band Extravaganza on My Lubbock TV.
Greatest band in the land. Rock up, the Goin Band from Raiderland. Tonight we're going to make fun music of trees. We open with a crazy little thing called love. Next, we present Queen's most popular song released in 1975. Here is Bohemian Rhapsody.
The Goin Band from Raiderland. I'm legally required to say it that way, under the direction of Dr. Joel Pagan and that Queen production. And Matt, you were in the Goin Band. You played tuba. What is that experience like?
Did it just 1 year. At the end of that semester, got a job in radio, so it kind of, I guess, was the whole reason I came to tech. But what's cool about it is it's not just music majors. So you have makeup. There are many music majors in the band, but makeup from across the university. And when you're getting 400 plus students together to do anything together, it's remarkable. But you learn about the high level that the band plays. I mean, not tooting my horn here, haha, bad porn, bad pun here, misspoke there, bad pun here, but tooting one's horn. I was all-state tuba player in high school, and everyone I was around in the Goin Band was better than me. When I walked in, everybody was great, and you got to see just the high level that the band members play. It's really remarkable, and also learning how to march. And you think in high school, okay, we're working on this show that by October 18th, it's got to be good. That's when we are facing contest. The Goin Band is going to do multiple shows throughout the year. So you're going to work on the show, and we have to have it on the field here in a couple of weeks. We're going to do another show, then a different show, then a different show. It is a lot, but it's an opportunity for students, the opportunity to step up there and be part of such a great band.
Another cool opportunity for the students here this evening. They get to perform one more time together. There's a lot of action on the field right now as the Goin Band from Raiderland makes their way off the field, and all 4 high schools and the middle schools about to take the field. This is more than 1,300 students about to perform the Journey Classic, Don't Stop Believin', under guest conductor Cesar De Leon. He is the executive director of fine arts for Lubbock ISD, and this is always a really fun thing to watch.
Yeah, and, we can almost be spoiled about if maybe a parent, and also Gus had mentioned this out to the public announce address here. Big thanks to the parents, the guardians, the grandparents, the people behind these students that make being a band student happen, because it is a lot of time. It's a lot of either early mornings, late nights, all of that. But we can almost be spoiled for someone maybe who has grown up in Lubbock and realized, okay, yeah, I remember going to the band Extravaganza. Something like this is not common. There aren't many places, I don't know anywhere else, that does something like this and televises it every year. But getting 1,300 or so students all together on the field at one time, that is unusual as well. So it's pretty fun, not just for each of the high schools to be together here, but also all of the middle schools as well.
And the band students aren't the only Lubbock ISD students working this evening. The pretty pictures you are seeing tonight are from the students with Lubbock ISD TV, and they do so much good work behind the scenes, making sure that they have the shots that they need to have. Directors letting them know we're about to take this camera and stand by for this other camera. So the students that you're not seeing tonight that are bringing you these pretty pictures, we are so proud of the work they do. And Matt, we've had LISD TV students come to work for us at KCBD
That's
News
correct.
Channel 11. If we want good ones, that's where we get them.
We go to LISD TV, and I don't think he'll be up right now, but Jason, who will be producing your newscast here within just a few hours, I bet he's asleep. He was at LISD TV. A number of other people over the years who have come through there. It's such a great, learning opportunity, a full-fledged TV station. Big thanks to Elizabeth. Let's see, Nathan back there, Kim. Are we allowed to thank Ben also?
He's back there.
I think
He's acting like he doesn't hear.
Ben Lawson said no, shook his head, said no. But big thanks to all of the Lubbock ISD TV crew that makes this happen.
So you've got students filing onto the field right now from the west, and you have students over there on the east side of the field waiting for their turn. And again, for those of you parents out there who have more than one child, it's tough to get your kids organized to do anything. You got about 1,300 kids that are coming out on the field this evening to perform together, and this is something they've been practicing. You can spot the high school, the colors there, the Lubbock High on the far end of the field, Coronado on the other end. You're seeing some Monterey students right there.
It looks like, wow, that's a whole bunch. Look at the track on the backside of the field. We don't have all the students on the field yet. There are still more to go.
Yep, all the middle schoolers filing in here behind the drum line. So cool experience for them to work, literally play side by side with the students they're looking up to this evening.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare to see this many band students anywhere come together like this. Like that young man with the t-shirt, the AC/DC t-shirt. The good music lives on. And look at this. Look at the high schooler right there. She was giving a handshake, dabbing up maybe, whatever the kids want to call it, to the middle schoolers. Because guess what? They aren't used to being out here on the field. Welcome them out there. Get this opportunity. If we had any more students, we tried to cram any more, we would need a Canadian Football League with the 55-yard line out here to fit any more out here. This is remarkable.
Seeing a lot of smiling faces on the field there.
Look at that oboe. I like the marching in middle school, marching with an oboe.
And this performance, this is just for fun. This is not a contest piece, anything like that. This is just, hey, let's all get together and just jam and play a song. And here they go. Let's hear the grand finale under the guest conductor Cesar de Leon down on the field. We're looking down there waiting for him to take his position. We're hearing Dr. Mike Gustafson get this group ready to go. Parents, families waiting in the stands, waiting to hear this. And it's always cool, and it creates a big sound of the way that they're singing.
Howdy, everybody. I hope you can see me.
Actually,
one more round
Fine
of
Arts Director
applause,
right
everybody.
there.
That is 1,300 of our closest friends, band students here in Lubbock ISD. Before I get up there and we conduct this incredible band of students, I wanted to thank a couple of people. I don't know if you saw her running up and down the stairs, but Ms. Desiree Moya, this is her first time. Let's give her a round of applause for running this whole event. Thank you, that's right, that's right. And there's one more person that really means a lot to this whole community. Lubbock, Texas, it's a great town, and it's a great family of fine arts. There is an individual who retired at the end of last school year, and this individual served in the Fine Arts Office as the executive secretary. Her name is Bobby Sorens, 26 years. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you, Bobby, for everything she does. She's still here. The last thing, team, I want to thank incredible Superintendent Dr. Kathy Rollo, our Board of Trustees, Ms. Misty Reber, Mr. Rick Rodriguez, because what you see behind me, it's the work of middle schools, high school principals, high school teachers, and this whole community. Fine arts is alive and well in Lubbock ISD. So one more round of applause.
was Journeys Don't Stop Believin', the grand finale for tonight's Lubbock ISD Band Extravaganza. More than 1,300 students filing off the field right now, and hopefully with no homework waiting for them because it's gotten late. Now you're seeing some of the lights that
Kind of the Tony effect right there.
Great.
And I wanted to reiterate what Mr. De Leon said right there about a big thanks to Bobby Sorensen, who worked in the Fine Arts Department for so many years. And she's still here doing things. I thought she had retired, but he had wanted to celebrate her here tonight. And he also thanked Desiree for stepping into that role. I can tell you, Bobby has helped us over the years here working on the band Extravaganza. A number of years back when my wife taught in Lubbock ISD at Guadalupe and at Dunbar, Bobby was just such a big help to each of the campuses dealing with fine arts. So I want to send a big thanks to her. And also, wow, Cesar De Leon working the crowd here with the microphone, then jumping up to conduct this huge, huge performance. He's still working the crowd. Let's listen.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Please drive safely home. Tomorrow's a school night. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, like
It
you
is a
said.
school night. Isn't your son out in the crowd, James?
He is. My wife and son are down there in the stands this evening. My son wanted to cheer his school on. And he's in band. He's a band student, so I look forward to seeing him here in the next couple of years out here. But that's what tonight's all about. It's about students inspiring other students and getting excited about fine arts. And so we want to thank Lubbock ISD for holding this event every year and really letting these students showcase what they've worked so hard on for weeks, and the directors for months at a time. And we want to wish the high schoolers good luck at their UIL contest again. That is going to be October 18th right here at Lowry Field. That is a Saturday, so you can come out here and watch that and support these kids because it is going to be great. We are grateful that Lubbock ISD lets us broadcast this every year. It is a great partnership with them, and KCBD News Channel 11, proud to be partnering with Lubbock ISD on this presentation.
And you can see right here, they're locked in because contest is weeks away. They're already discussing how tonight went. They are going to get the feedback from the clinicians who came here and basically gave a run through, the same thing that the judges will give in a few weeks, showing these are some things we need to tighten up on. And these bands, they're busy during the school day for when that period occurs during the class day, but also after school, going to the football games on Thursday or Friday. And that's just kind of a West Texas experience, going to a football game and hearing the drum line, hearing the bands play. Of course, busy times here at Lowry Field. It'll be 2 nights from tonight. It'll be Estacado welcoming in Randall. They'll be playing here for the Thursday night throwdown on My Lubbock TV. But hearing those bands on Thursday and Friday nights, just great to hear. And of course, it can also be tiring for those road games, making the long journeys to those games as well. But what a great educational opportunity. Also just a fun opportunity here. They wouldn't keep doing it each year if it wasn't a wonderful event, and now it's been 42 of these.
42 years and tens of thousands of students involved, really a legacy of the fine arts here for Lubbock ISD and for our city. We want to thank you so much for tuning into this broadcast. We always have a great time bringing you the Lubbock ISD Band Extravaganza, and we hope that you will be with us next year for year 43 for the Band Extravaganza. For Matt Ernst, I'm James Eppler from KCBD News Channel 11. I have a morning show to get ready for that starts quite early in the morning on Fox 34. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.